So I got here this morning and there's just fish all over my graph, but trolled through them for like an hour without even a tap. That's always a good opportunity to jig if they don't seem to be keen to bite anything on the troll. So now we get out here today, see if we can get some bite going on the jig, and then maybe try some of my favorite jigs and kind of go over what are sort of my top choices for Kokanee jigs. Interesting how they are so engaged with it. Looking at it, looking at it, looking at it. There's like 2 fish coming up and down with each jig. There we go. That one. I wanted the little jigs. Just keeping pressure straight on up. It's the very deep fish that are feeding, I guess. It's a nice size kokanee. Yeah, perfect. That's, ooh, and he's off. That's probably 15, 16. Sweet. Major craft jig para comes through for me. They weren't hitting the troll, so I figured I'd try and get them on the jig. Man, they are fat fish. It's a nice size fish. Look at that. Probably in the 15 or 16 inch range, but really girthy and fat. Whatever they're feeding on down there, that's the reason they're not hitting on the troll. So that was on a 10-gram Major Craft Jig Para micro jig. It's one of my favorite jigs, but they're getting kind of hard to come by, so I thought I'd go over some other jigs today and see if we can get some kokanee on that I will use that are more widely available. Okay, so let's switch out to another jig. I typically direct tie in with most of my jigs, although you can use dual locks. I find that I get a lot more tangles with the dual locks, like where the hook will come back around and snag the dual lock itself. So I just prefer to do direct tie. So next up I'm going to do an orange and white or pearl and white Kokaneeter. Now 1/2 ounce is kind of my go-to weight for 90%. If the fish are feeding up shallow in the spring and I want to jig those, I'll go down to like a 1/4 ounce. But 1/2 ounce is kind of what I can use to target fish most of the time, anywhere from 40 to or 30 to 70 feet. If I'm going somewhere else where it's deeper, then I might want to go up to 3/4 ounce. All right, so let's use the Kokaneeter here and see if we can't find a school and repeat the success that we just had with the Major Craft Jig Para. There's a fish right there at 30. There he is. Got him. I came straight up to him and he just smacked it. It's kokanee. Not as big as that last one, but there we go. That's a kokanee on the Kokaneeter. I just came up to him there at around 30 and he just smacked it on the way up. Nice. Smaller than the last one I got, but I'll take it. So that was on the orange and pearl white Kokaneeter 1/2 ounce. That's probably just like a 13, 12. On ice though. Alright, let's try something else. There's a bunch down there right now. But the goal today is to catch them on a bunch of different types of lures. Alright, so that was the Kokaneeter. I'm going to switch up to a orange 1/2 ounce Castmaster. So these have a silverback, widely available. We'll give that one a shot. I do tip all of these with a little bit of Berkeley Gulp maggots. I'm using bloody tuna, garlic, and white maggots today. I don't want to pull it up and check the bait with that one fish still engaged. There, oh, I missed him. That stabbed him. Dang it. I'll have to find another. That was a good try. We've had a couple good bites on Castmaster, but I think I'm going to switch up something, see if I can get something that might excite them a little more. These guys just aren't interested in Castmaster for some reason. We'll switch up to a Buzz Bomb. Now, buzz bomb's kind of annoying to rig because you gotta take and run the line through first, and then you gotta put the rubber bumper in there. But the nice thing is you can run any size hook that you want, and I like to downsize these hooks to a fine wire treble hook. So that's kind of a bummer because it's not like one single rig that you can just clip in or clip out. If you have a dual lock in there, you've got to tie it all up. You could have like a pre-tied one on a pre-tied section leader, and that would work. But I like running without a swivel on here so that it doesn't mess with the action. This is a 1/2 ounce Buzz Bomb Pink. Put some bait on here, and we'll drop it down, see if we can't score some more fish. Buzz bombs definitely fall slower because of the way they fall on their flat on their sides. Ooh, that was a bite. You see that? That was a bite. He hit it on the way down, so I didn't have time to get him. It's like now the ones up high are feeding more aggressively. Those fall very slow. I think the faster falling ones are doing better today. Not loving the buzz bomb as much today. Had a couple good takedowns on it, but I missed them. A lot of times because that the buzz bomb itself slides up and down the line as you're doing this, and sometimes they're able to pick up that hook with that slack and you miss it. I'm gonna go back to the Kokanee. Let's see what we can get. There we go. Got him. Kokanee. Feels like a decent one. That's a beautiful kokanee. That thing's huge. Got him. Dang, that's a nice fish he's off to. Kokanee. That's what they want today, is kokanee. It's weird how, just like trolling gear, some days they're really picky. Look at that fish. That's a beauty right there. Yeah, I'll take that any day. There we go. Little guy. Just need one more for my limit. There we go. Yeah, they love the Kokanee today. Got him. There we go. That's number 5 for the day. Smaller one, but I'll take it. All right, I'll put links to all the different jigs I used today. I think it's a good idea to always have a good diversity of jigs, just because you never know which one's gonna be particularly hot that day. Today it seemed like they really liked this orange and white P-line Kokanee, but other days I've done really well with buzz bombs or the Major Craft Jig Para. It's kind of my go-to to always start with. As far as rods go, I just like a good drop shot rod. That's typically what I use, since there's not really a lot of great selection in terms of Kokanee jigging rods out there, but something in the 6.5 to 7.5 foot range. This is a 610 GCX G Loomis drop shot rod, rated 4 to 8 pounds, extra fast action. You want that fast action on the tip so you can drive that hook home. And I've got the Shimano Stratic on here. I just like it because it has that really buttery drag system. You notice that as soon as I hook these fish, I just keep constant pressure on them, and a lot of times by the time they're in the net, they're off the hook. So that's really key, just to have something that has that little bit of buttery drag that's going to maintain pressure. And then I have 8-pound high-vis Power Pro braid and 6-pound fluorocarbon leader leading down to the jig, and I almost always direct tie, because if you use a dual lock, a lot of times you'll end up flipping back on itself and hooking itself quite a bit. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Just remember, fish smarter, not harder. Bye.